So let's talk you through the first of 24 starting grids here at Adria Karting Raceway for the second round of the 2021 season. Following on from what happened yesterday in qualifying practice, Austria's Dragosavisil Kutai will lead them from pole position, and alongside will be Bovin Power's young Dutch charger, Boaz Maximov. It's an all-German Road 2, courtesy of the C4 racing duo of Maximilian Pilch and Maxim Becker. Jakub Gasparovic and Paul Schön complete the top three rows, ahead of Noah Janssen and Tom Pappenberg, representing Germany and the Netherlands respectively. Felix Kiss from Hungary and Branislav Rentka round out the top 10 ahead of Jan Stenzel. Mikael Soltis, Marcel Zibo, Gabriel Hoffmann, Leopold Jouch, Alex Meneses and Christos Malakos. So they've just had their sighting lap. They're about to get onto their formation lap here, but they're also having a bit... that's actually quite a good thing there that the Micromax drivers have done, which is just to gauge the tram lines. And that's crucial, because if you get hit... if you end up with two wheels outside of the tram lines, it's a 3-second penalty. All four wheels and you break formation, it's 5 seconds penalty post-race. As now, they are starting to get things underway rather early when it comes to the formation lap, so they're going to keep us waiting a little bit. But we don't mind that. It's the first of 24 races here at Adria Karting Raceway. Dragosavisil Kutai and Boaz Maximov will be the ones controlling the pace. And pole position for those watching at home, when we see the lights go from red to out, you will see that Dragosavisil Kutai will be on the left-hand side of your screen and Boaz Maximov will be on the right-hand side. So 7 minutes plus an additional lap, 3 heats for both Micro and Minimax this weekend. As we wait with bated breath to see who will get the start nailed right and who will end up going into the first corner first. That's dependent on whether you nail the start properly, and if someone around you or behind you bogs down, you get that perfect getaway. Well, this is where we find out. The youngest out of 6 classes in the Rotax racing family. Always a pleasure to see such a grid here this weekend, as now they come out of the final corner. Into the tram lines they go for the first time. Are we ready? Are we steady? Lights are out, we're off and racing, and a good start from Avisil Kurtai. It looks like Boaz Maximov has already dropped down to 4th position, maybe outside of the top 5, as it's nearly 3 abreast going into turn 2 for the first time. But Dragos Avisil Kurtai has already gotten the getaway. Maximilian Pilch has got himself up into 2nd position. Maxim Becker down to 5th behind Boaz Maximov, as they are 2 abreast coming out of turn 4 into the left-hand hairpin here at 5, and they're all squabbling for position, and it's 3 abreast going into the next right-hander. Oh my goodness me, already we've not even let them go for about less than 40 seconds, and already we're having some great battling up and down the order here in Micromax, and there's an absolute swarm of karts from 2nd onwards, which is being led, I think, by Maximilian Pilch at the moment. But Dragosavisil Kurtai has got the initial jump on the field. We've got just over 6 minutes plus an additional lap to go. And Jakub Gasparovic looking up the inside of Maximilian Pilch going into T2. Gets the job done. Maxim Becker and Noah Janssen slot in behind. With Janssen starting from P7. And Janssen trying to go for at least 4th. Maybe even make that 3rd if he got the opportunity. But whether Maxim Becker will back out of it or keep the place, well, they've the 2 C4 racing karts were side by side. That's giving Noah Janssen the perfect opportunity, as well as the likes of Tom Pappenberg, who's come into the mix as well. You can see they're literally putting the feelers out very early, and that's a great move by Noah Janssen. But straight away, Maxim Becker on the counter-offensive, and Tom Pappenberg thinks he's got an opportunity to get up the inside, and I think he has done. So Tom Pappenberg from the Netherlands, who started in 8th, now finds himself within the top 6. So, and he's got Gasparovic just up ahead. So Noah Janssen drops down to 7th place. Meanwhile, Dragosavisil Kurtai has got a gap, but it looks to be closed down a little bit. It was 0.8 of a second, it's now 0.7. So Boaz Maximov from the Netherlands, as, there's a bit of a side-by-side moment, probably Remco versus Hoffman going through into T1. But they both came out of it unscathed, and Hoffman being pressurised once again. So you can see here, right up and down the order, looks like Leopold Jourg on the Ralf Schumacher chassis for Larrea GT1 Racing, all the way down in 17th and last position. But nevertheless, to still keep going, we've got 4.5 minutes still to go. And Dragos Avisil-Kultai could have that lead under threat probably at the end of the next lap. But here we have some more battling away. And it's been rather interesting thus far, but Dragos Avisil-Kultai leads the field on to what is going to be the completion of lap number 3 imminently. So Avisil-Kultai has just had the best part of over 2 tenths, but look at the gaggle for third, led by Maxime Becker now, who's gotten ahead of C4 teammate Maximilian Pilch, who's going up the inside. There's Jakub Gasparovic with Noah Janssen going up the inside of Tom Pappenberg, and that's for 6th position. So whilst Avisil-Kultai, there's another move up the inside, and that was Pilch, I think, on Gasparovic, or was it the other way around? Because it's so difficult to tell how close these karts are. But nevertheless, they have done an absolutely brilliant job. Great battling from these youngsters. And that's one of the main reasons why I enjoy seeing how Micromax just really put in some great racecraft at such a tender age. And this is where the real motorsport journey starts, in the lower echelons. But you can see now, Avisil-Kultai still leads after 4 laps. Boaz Maximov, half a second adrift. Then it's Becker, Gasparovic, Pilch, Janssen ahead of Pappenberg. Paul Schoen rounds out the top 8 ahead of Branislav Rentka and Germany's Gabriel Hoffmann. So drivers are making positional gains. It looks like there has been a little bit of a change there because Tom Pappenberg, I think, is now behind Paul Schoen. So the young Swiss driver, who finished 2nd in this class, I think, last year, if memory serves me correctly, at this very circuit. But there's still toing and froing, and it looks like Gasparovic has got past Maxime Becker to now take 3rd position. So the hunt really begins, but time is fast running out. 2 minutes and 19 seconds plus an additional lap. And we'll see how they get on over the next 2 or so minutes. But this is where things come down to crunch time. They've still got another 2 heats, let's not forget. And if they have a moment, as here comes Janssen up the inside of Pilch, going through turn 2. And there is Paul Schoen trying to capitalise on the young German in the 55, but not on that particular occasion. The Swiss driver does not make it through, but maybe at the next hairpin he's going to try and send it up the inside. Does so, and nearly coming together with Maximilian Pilch was Tom Pappenberg, but that was ever so close. The most finite of margins, but good awareness from Pilch and also from Schoen to try and keep out of the way, because Pappenberg went for it. He was within lunge range, I'll be completely honest. But now, at the front of the field, the 2 drivers battling for the lead. Boaz Maximov has caught up with Dragos Avisil-Kultai. Gap now down to just under 3.5 tenths. Jakub Gasparovic has now tried to pull away from Maxime Becker and Noah Janssen. And the gap between Gasparovic and Becker now steps up to 0.3 of a second. But Dragos Avisil-Kultai, the young Austrian from KSCI Saudi Europe, doing a good job, has led from pole position. But at the moment, he's now coming under fire because Boaz Maximov has this, plus another couple of laps to try and steamroll his way past and get into the lead and take the victory on Heat 1. Avisil-Kultai trying to go on the defensive, but runs a little bit wide, coming through the double left-hander. And there's the move up the inside by Boaz Maximov, as we now will make our way onto the penultimate lap here at Adria. They come out of the final corner, and Avisil-Kultai now is the hunter. It's one thing to pass, it's another thing to get past, but sweeping up the inside goes Dragos Avisil-Kultai. But what this has meant is Jakub Gasparovic from KF Racing has closed up on the pair of them. Timer hit 0, penultimate lap. And this is where it's going to get interesting, ladies and gentlemen, because Maxime Becker and Noah Janssen are closing in as well. Maximov goes for the lead again through turn 5. Avisil Kultai gets a good run and rubs the front of his bumper ever so slightly to retake the lead. But the good thing is, no harm, no foul there. But we've got one more lap, and Dragos Avisil Kultai has soaked up the pressure like a sponge. Jakub Gasparovic is like a bull in a china shop trying to get past Boaz Maximov, but we have just over 1,300 metres left in this first heat out of 3. Across the line they go. Gap was just over a tenth. Avisil Kultai takes the tight inside line and goes on the defensive. And Boaz Maximov's trying to send it around the outside. That's going to leave the door open for Jakub Gasparovic. But Gasparovic doesn't manage to take advantage through that particular occasion, but Avisil Kultai has just put the car exactly where he's needed to, and we've only just got a handful of corners. Now Maxime Becker enters the fray, so the battle for the lead becomes a 4-horse train as here comes Becker up the inside of Gasparovic, makes the move, they tangle. Well, hang on, that was Gasparovic managed to get away with that. Maxime Becker tagged Boaz Maximov. So Maximov was running in second position and Becker went for the move. It was, and unfortunately, both of them came out on the wrong end of the stick. But as a result of that, Dragos Avisil Kultai takes the first victory of the weekend. Jakub Gasparovic in second. And looks like Paul Schoen from Switzerland has taken third at the end of that all. Noah Janssen rounds out the top 4. Tom Pappenberg, and you can now see a little bit of good sportsmanship from the Micromax drivers with the likes of Gasparovic and Avisil Kultai, the latter, well, them both finishing second and first respectively. But there you go, a lot of drivers now coming across the line. So Dragos Avisil Kultai must be really happy, actually won that heat by just over 6.5 tenths of a second. Jakub Gasparovic takes second position for KF Racing in the number 19. The number 41 of Switzerland's Paul Schoen rounds out the top 3. Noah Janssen in 4th place. We are having a slight issue with the timing from my side at the moment, so just waiting to see if that resets. But first things first, what a race and a good kickstart for the opening race of the season. There you go, there are the results. So Dragos Avisil Kultai, Jakub Gasparovic, Paul Schoen, Noah Janssen, Tom Pappenberg round out the top 5 positions ahead of Maximilian Pilch, Branislav Rentka, Boaz Maximov, Felix Kiss, Marcel Zibo, Gabriel Hoffmann, Jan Stenzel, and obviously Maxime Becker at the bottom end of that field. But that's your first race down. We've still got another 23 to go.